building, and we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. So welcome to everyone. We're going to start by taking attendance. We don't really have any votes today, so it's not really quorum. We're just taking attendance. All right, so Michelle Markert, that's me. Mark Schauer.
Present.
Anne Marie. Dwayne Hargis.
Here.
Leela. Dr. Baggerman. Dr. Woods.
Here.
Julie Dye.
Here.
Lisa McKenna. Present. Hi. Aaron Pryor.
Here.
And George Lerma.
I'm here.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and start. Today is all about updates, which is a really cool thing. We're very excited. So we're going to go through some different program updates. There are times for discussions, and I know we're going to keep time just in case. Ms. Arizmendi is going to keep time for us. All right, so our first program update comes from the CCISD Adaptive Education and Special Olympics. Ms. Escamilla.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the invite. I appreciate being here and coming and talk about my program. I am Melinda Escamilla. I'm the district's adapted PE instructor and the Special Olympics coordinator for the district. But I can't do this by myself, so Kathy De La Paz is here. Kathy, say hi. She helps me as well to conduct and run both of these programs. So let me get started. Okay. I'll talk about adaptive PE first. Adaptive PE. What is adaptive PE? Well, it's a service that I provide students not only in the adaptive education program, but also in the gen ed that are requiring some adaptations or modifications during PE time. So my job is to ensure that the students participate in PE in elementary and the secondary level. So I work with all of them, all the kids in elementary and in middle school and in high school. The process is I get called out by a parent or a teacher if they have any concern with their students participating in PE. Any of the adapted education staff as well, counselors, principals, they'll call me out and I'll come out and do an observation during PE time on the kids that they have concern with. After completing my observation on campus, I'll come back to my office and I'll do an evaluation, and which is part of the IEP process. So not only am I called out based on a parent concern or a teacher concern or a principal concern, it's also part of the IEP process. So I have to be called out that way as well. After completing my evaluation, I provide some grade level instructional base PE TEKS help. I also provide some adaptive materials during warm-up exercise or during the activities. And what does that all mean? Well, after I do my observation and I go out to campuses, I collaborate with PE coaches, and we find out what kind of accommodations the students are needing so that they can fully participate in the PE exercises that they're doing. I offer PE coaches modifications to rules of games, equipment, and or if we need to adjust or modify the environment, we'll do that as well. We encourage the students and provide opportunities for them to participate in activities with their peers and still offer a challenging but yet a comfortable activity that they can participate in. So we still try to encourage them to step outside, a little bit outside the box, and so we can see some growth. And it also ensures some self-confidence. We help them build their confidence, to be able to participate either in individual or team skills. And also, I collaborate with the music therapist, Kenya Johnson, the physical therapist, Charmaine, and special education teachers and support staff. Okay, so there is a program that we have that's called Collaboration Station, and we offer music therapy and adaptive PE exercises for the students in the adaptive education program. And that's all of elementary and all of middle schools. Anybody that participates in the adaptive education program, we offer those services for them as well. And then finally, we do also use the DrumFit equipment for our students during collaboration. Let me show you some pictures. Here are some pictures of the services that we do offer for the students. This first one, the first picture is there's some visuals that I offer to the teachers, the PE coaches. If students having difficulty keeping their hands to themselves, and we offered the visual schedules just to help him get through his or her time during that PE time. The picture with the basketball, there's an example of modifying basketball skills, and so that all students can participate. The other one is we're working on balancing. There's strength activities. This one down here, the group one, the students are playing hockey. And then there's our DrumFit activity at the Cunningham Gym. And then we also collaborate with the Veterans Memorial, and we were able to conduct the class out there as well. So those are just some of the things that we do. But we do try to provide some good activities for our students to also participate in Gen Ed PE classes. Special Olympics. The Special Olympics program is very much alive and running really well. Yes, ma'am. Oh, 4 minutes? Okay. So currently we serve approximately 135 students right now in our district. We've had more, but we're pleased with this, especially coming back after COVID. It's been kind of a slow restart, but we still have a lot of students that are very interested in our Special Olympics program. Coaches, anybody interested in participating in Special Olympics, they contact myself or Kathy. We do have a sign-up form that the students have to fill out, and then a requirement from Special Olympics Texas, which is the athlete registration medical form that has to be completed before participation. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. That's not my rule, not my CCISD rule. That's a Special Olympics rule. So for sure, anybody that participates in our Special Olympic program, they do have a physical and a sign-up form that is completed. On our sign-up form, fortunately, we are able to offer bowling, volleyball, basketball, tennis, track and field, and aquatics to our students. We are a year-round program, and so these events happen beginning in August all the way through May. So if any of y'all are ever interested in helping to come out and coach some of these events, we'd welcome you. And so what is involved? Well, we have practices at least 2 days a week. We practice for 1 hour after school, and we practice up for about 5 to 6 weeks per event. Basketball is our next event, and that's coming up, and we'll start up in February for that. And then at the end of the year, we also have our end of the year sports banquet. But let me back up to the competition. We do offer team competition, unified sports, and individual competition. So there's a lot involved for each event, but we do try to offer team, unified, and individual competition. And so, again, we cannot do these programs without the support of our special education teacher, paraprofessionals, the transportation department, parents, coaches, volunteers, and community support. It takes a whole team to conduct our program. So, And the benefits of it is athletes discover new strengths and abilities and skills and success by participating in our year's sports program. And it's just really fun to watch the students when they enter our team, like at a young age, and we get to watch them grow and their skills really improve after several years of being on our team. So it's nice to watch. But if any of y'all are ever interested, please come out. You can contact us. Oh, here's some pictures of our bowling competition, volleyball competition, all the sports. Basketball, track and field. This one at the end, we actually got to participate in the breakthrough with the Carroll football team. That was a lot of fun. Our athletes and students really enjoyed doing that with the Carroll football team. And then the second picture over here, we're trying to explore kayaking as well. And so we only had 2 people that were interested in that, but that was okay. It's better than none. So we still took them out to do that as well. So it's fun. And swimming, it's for all abilities. Nobody is excluded from our programs. We will make a way for them to participate. So we have a Scan Me. So if all of y'all could take your phone out for just a minute, we are looking for fans, coaches, volunteers, and sponsors. If you use your phone and you scan that will take you to our web store. We are seeking from some contributions and donations for our program, and it goes straight to our Special Olympics program. And this other one is it's our logo. That logo was made by one of our students at Mary Gretz, so we're really proud of that logo as well. But thank you for doing that. And let me see. Here's our contact information as well. Kathy and I, we put our cell phone number on there with no hesitation. So there's no reason why no parent or teachers, other coaches, staff, you guys can locate us if you just contact those numbers. We'll be glad to assist and provide additional information for y'all. Okay? I was a little nervous, sorry. But thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, and you did great. Don't worry. Thank you. I'm glad to see all the kids getting to participate at whatever they want to do, and for you to see that growth over the years, that's amazing. So thank you. All right. We have the CCISD Employee Benefits Department. Deborah Barrera, come on down.
Kind of sounded like Price is Right, like I need to. Good morning. We next have Miss Deborah Barrera, and she will be speaking to you all about the Employee Benefits Department for CCISD. So thank you so much for letting me come out and do this. My name is Deborah Barrera from the Office of Employee Benefits. And we are here to kind of just share kind of what we've done over the last couple of years and a couple of highlights of what we are going to be doing next year. This here is just a short snapshot of just the different things that fall under our health and wellness program. And I've got a slide for each one, and we'll just jump right on in. So the first one is biometric screenings. So biometric screenings is a great opportunity for employees to know their numbers. What are my sugar numbers? What are my cholesterol numbers? My good, my bad, my blood pressure, my glucose, my sugars. Why is it important to know those numbers? Because we can be at risk, and without knowing where your numbers should be, then it's hard to tell, well, where am I? And so that's the purpose of the biometric screening. A lot of times people don't go see the doctor because they already know they're overweight, they already know something's wrong, and they don't want confirmation. And so we've kind of got a couple of items in the fold for this to kind of encourage employees to get it done. So it's completely voluntary to have a biometric screening done, but in the event that you do, there is a $720 savings per year on your health plan premiums. It's voluntary, so if you don't want to do it, you are going to pay the extra $720. That information does not come to the school district. That is private and personal between the employee and their physician. But this is, on the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to kind of see the numbers for the last 3 years. That's how many of our employees have said, okay, you know what, I'll do it. And of those, we've had some results where an employee will call back and say, thank you for making me do this, because I now know that this is where my number is at. This is where I should be at. I could, I'm at risk for a stroke, or I'm at risk for a heart attack, or I didn't realize that I'm diabetic. Now it explains why I'm tired and I'm exhausted. So it's important for our employees, and we only ask that they do this once a year, but again, there's a benefit to it. The next slide is going to take us to wellness reimbursements. So we offer 12 different insurance benefits and plans to our employees, but of those, we have United Healthcare Accident, MetLife Cancer, and Voya Critical Illness. So any of our employees who have those 3 benefits, 1, 2, or all 3, they can submit their results from their biometric screening that they did the year prior, or any one of these other exams that are done, and they can receive up to $100 reimbursement, and that's annual. So not only do I get to know if I'm healthy or where I'm at in my health, not only do I get to save $720 per year on my insurance premium, but if I have one of these benefits, I also get a reimbursement. So the numbers aren't in yet for 2022 on some of these, and so we will be sending out a reminder email to employees. So if you have the cancer plan, don't forget that if you've already done your screening, make sure that you get your reimbursement submitted. And so that's the benefit, or another benefit, of our biometric screening program. So ReadyMD is our teledoc that's provided through our health plan for employees who have a minor medical condition. Maybe they don't have their own doctor, or maybe their doctor can't get in and see them fairly quickly, and so they take care of services like, I just got the flu, I have COVID, I've got a scratch in my throat, ear infection. They can take care of minor things, but they are also a big provider to our employees for the biometric screening. So these are some quick numbers here to see how many of our employees went directly to ReadyMD to do their biometric screening for their health and wellness benefits. And so the benefit of ReadyMD is that they can do that via their social media. Their iPad, their phone, their computer, their webcam. They can even call in. For about 90% of our employees, there is no cost to them, so it's completely covered at 100%. They don't have to miss time from work. They don't have to go sit in a doctor's office for an hour and a half and wait. And if they need a prescription, they will call it in for them so that on their way home, it's there and ready to be picked up. So ReadyMD is a benefit to all CCIC employees, even if they don't have the health plan. But for the majority that carry our health insurance, it's covered at 100%. So we also partner with HEB, and they've been providing flu shot clinics to our employees probably for about the last 5 or 6 years. The numbers here on the screen are only showing the last 4 years, but they provide flu, COVID, shingles, pneumonia, Tdap, HPV, and meningitis. And so again, if you carry the district's health insurance, this is another benefit that's at no cost to the employee. It's covered at 100%. For employees that maybe don't carry our health plan, we still allow them to get the flu shot or any other vaccine that they want. They'll just provide whatever health insurance information they have to HEB, and that's provided to them as well. We also have our employee assistance program. So as you know, even after COVID, a lot of times we are stressed out, overworked, underpaid, take your pick. But employees have an opportunity to go and speak to a counselor. And every single employee of the district has 5 free visits. Those 5 sessions are covered for them or even a family member. So if they don't need the services themselves, they can pass that along to a spouse, they can pass that along to a child, and they are completely confidential. So as on our side, we do get an invoice every single month, and that invoice says we saw 52 employees this month. We saw 100 employees this month. We saw 12 employees this month. They cannot share with the district who was seen or why they were seen or what department they even come from. It's just a matter of providing this service to every single employee. So if it is drug-related, if it is financial, if it is the loss of a family member, if it's anything and everything that they need to discuss, again, it's held confidential. And if additional services are needed, they can refer them out to a mental health care provider if further assistance is required. We also have campus competitions. So here in the administration building, we're getting ready to kick off our Maintain No Game. So basically, we're going to weigh you in at the beginning, and if you can just hold your weight over the 2-week Christmas break that we're out, your name goes in for a hat, and we have gift cards, we have drawings. Here in the picture, we've got lunch boxes, we've got stress balls, we've got T-shirts, duffel bags. Take your pick. We've got some fun stuff, and so we love to give prizes out. We even have a warehouse where we've got a lot of this stuff, and so employees who are at the different campuses will call and say, hey, Deb, we're going to do a Biggest Loser challenge, or we're going to do a 10-day this or a 5-day that. Do you have stuff you can send us? Absolutely. So these are some of the schools that have reached out to us to say, hey, we want to do something. I just had 2 schools yesterday. came by and just picked up a duffel bag full of goodies. And so, again, just something that we can offer to our campuses. We're hoping to double and triple that for next year. But these are the schools that reached out to us in 2022. Something that we have not been able to do in a long time, but we did get to kick it off this year, was our benefits and educational meetings. We'd been doing this prior to COVID and then kind of just was put on a halt. But these are all of the campuses that invited us out to their location so that we could speak to their staff. And just kind of updating them on maybe some of the changes that have taken place, some of the things that are coming around the corner, but reminding them of the free services that are provided to them, whether it's ReadyMD, whether it's our services for mental health. If it's just, don't forget, you get free generic prescriptions, or you get free this or free that. You know, go to CVS and there's no copay for you if you go in. And so that's just something that we've allowed to kind of go out and give away some goodies, educate our employees on health and wellness, pick a random topic. And so we are available to go out to the campuses at any time at their request. So we're hoping to also double this list of schools for the next year. So we also have some gym discounts. Currently on payroll deduction, we only have the Corpus Christi Athletic Club. Gold's Gym is no more. But as you can see, we only had 33 members when they were on our payroll deduction. We do have a partnership with Freedom Fitness, but until they can give us a significant discount and truly provide to us a number of how many employees are at their gym, we can't give them a payroll slot. And we've reached out to Crunch Fitness to see what kind of a partnership that we can put together in 2023 for our employees. Excited about this. We were getting ready to do a health fair back in 2020, and everybody knows the big word, COVID. So it got canceled along with some of our other activities, but we've got one on the books for next year. April 1st, it's a Saturday, we'll be showcasing our newest high school. The first 100 to 150 employees that come automatically get a gift card. It's not open just to employees, but we'd like to open it to the community as well. And so we'll have anywhere from 40 to 50 vendors there, a lot of services being provided for free. We'll have the fire department there, the blood bank there, even there's like a junior program for police officers, and they'll have their van out there. So we're excited not to do this just for our employees, but also to do this for the community. And the last thing is that we have workplace video trainings. Woohoo. Lots of hours of training that we have to watch, and it is required for employees. And some of y'all are smiling at me because you know exactly what I'm talking about. But there's topics on safety. There are topics on suicide prevention, on sexual harassment in the workplace and with our students. There are videos on Stop the Bleed. There are videos on diabetes. And so some are health and wellness related, some are emotionally related, some are more legislature stuff that we've got to take care of. But either way, we do provide them, and they are required by our employees to watch. Again, lots of fun, and then you have to take a test afterwards. But a lot of it is really, really good information, and so glad we can provide it. This is our team, from our deputy superintendent down to our workers' comp representative for CCI STEAM. So if any time we do have a staff that is well-versed in all things benefits, insurances that we can assist employees with, and this is how everyone can reach us. This is the page I tell everybody to take a picture of. But it's got our email addresses, it has our contact information, as well as where it can be found on the district's website. And that is it. Any questions at all? Yes, sir. Actually, they're on our list also. We reached out to them after we had already put our presentation together, but we're reaching out both to the YMCA and YWCA.
We just came up with a name for new candy, Mike Marks. So they changed theirs to 24/7 access. So you don't have all of the lockers and stuff after, but there's still a shower in there.
But you have access to the gym.
All you have to do is, so you can get in and use it. And they have all kinds of classes. I'm just telling them because I see during lunch, boy, they're packed full of classes. So they have classes throughout the week and whatever. And the other thing I was going to ask you, at work, for the city, I engaged in this a couple of years ago, but they had a wellness nutrition plan. It was kind of directed around weight loss, but not necessarily. So I learned a lot from that. And it was put on by a doctor, a psychologist. They're about your sleep patterns. Do you have anything like that people can enroll in through the insurance?
So we do. So if an employee if an employee has Aetna, that's who our health plan provider is, they can actually go on and register through Aetna.com. And when you've registered, there is a rabbit hole of links you can go through. But there is a section on just health and wellness. And so there's different benefits that are available through not just Aetna, but then also some links on just educational items on nutrition, on exercise that can be provided even like at work kind of thing.
Yeah, but in this, it wasn't so much advice. It was a program you go through at each stage, and at the end of it, you complete it, and you were supposed to get a discount, which I didn't, by the way. You're supposed to get a discount on your insurance, but I don't. But
That is
I really
not currently
value.
in place with the district.
Yeah, I just thought, I don't know. It doesn't sound like it exactly matches what you have, but I remember each one was carefully selected, and they would repeat stuff, go back so you would remember it. And they changed names a couple of different times, but it was sanctioned through Blue Cross, and they thought so highly of it, because some of it had to do with fasting and et cetera for weight loss, but it all made perfect sense. It was put on by doctors, and it seemed to be well received because I did some research on it. But I'm just saying, I don't know if it was exactly, it's not exactly tips. It's a full-fledged program that you go through every week, and they send you an initial kit just about with a cracker in it, and I think a peanut or something. And the whole idea is that you put it in your mouth and you chew very slowly, and you salivate more. And you really treasure your food and get the taste out of it. And that just that little moniker thing starting off the whole class made a lot of sense to me. I just wonder.
Not in place right now. But definitely something that we can look into.
Yeah, I should hope so. If you need any information on it, I'd be happy to turn you on to the one we have, because they just renamed it again. But it's been out there several years.
Okay.
And I went through it about probably 3 during COVID, I think, when I had nothing else to do.
Sure. I'll definitely be in touch. Any other questions?
After the employee has the screening and they can save $720, is that absorbed by the district or the insurance company?
So what has happened is the insurance company comes out and says, okay, this is how much your premiums are going to cost.
Right.
Do you have any kind of wellness program in place? Because if you have something in place, then we're willing to work with you. And so here's their flat cost, but it's money that the district can keep, and we're not having to share that money with Aetna. So it's something that stays within our own general budget.
Okay. The second thing was, you guys really provide a lot of services, and I just want to give you a shout out. I know in 2020, my wife retired from teaching, and COVID, you couldn't come in, you had to do everything online, and I think for teachers that's a stressful time. And you were just fantastic, and your staff was just fantastic with her trying to dot the I's and cross the T's. So I just want to thank you for what really you guys do for the teachers.
Thank you.
Can I
Anything
just
else?
ask one question? How many employees are there for the district?
So we have approximately 6,000 employees. That's going to include our temps and substitutes, tutors, that kind of thing. On our actual health insurance plan, we run about 3,400. 3,400 people on our health insurance plan, and that only is going to account for employees. If you account for every belly button, which means every spouse and child, then we have about 5,800 somewhere in there, actual people covered on our health insurance plan.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, good morning. I'm here to introduce Ms. Yvette Jacinto. She's from Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program.
Hi, how's everyone doing? I'm also here with Norma Munoz, and she's our Nueces County Extension Service County Administrator. So we're gonna kind of do this together today. But I guess her down arrow does the, okay, just kind of like, in case you're not too familiar with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, our vision is Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service will be the leader in providing science-based information and solutions in agriculture and health to every Texan. Our mission as Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service works daily to make Texas better by providing innovative solutions at the intersection of agriculture, natural resources, youth and health, thereby improving well-being of individuals, families, businesses, and communities through education and service. We have county offices pretty much in every county of the state of Texas, so we're everywhere. But extension itself is nationwide, and it's usually through the land-grant universities. And so for Texas, it's through Texas A&M. And our extension service here in Nueces County is very, very broad. We have 9 agents, and we do a various amount of different kind of work. We have an ag and natural resource agent, and he helps ranchers and farmers with crops and livestock. We have a horticulture agent. He does a lot of work with landscaping and gardens. We have Better Living for Texas agents, help with health and nutrition, family and community health. We work with Prairie View A&M too. They have a family community health agent here, and we have FNEP, Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program. That's the program I'm in charge of. And we also have 4-H. You hear of the kids that raise chickens, goats, things like that. It's much more broad than that, but we have a very active 4-H program here in Nueces County as well. As far as FNEP and FNEP Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program, we teach adults and youth in Nueces County. Of course, for this presentation, we're only talking about CCISD, within Nueces County and the schools that we've helped. Since this presentation wanted kind of results and information, we kind of used last year's data, but I can always give you the schools that we're currently at and will be going to after Christmas. So Healthy Bites, Healthy Moves is our adult curriculum. We have two youth educators and 2 adult educators, and they're all over Nueces County, all over CCISD. And our main course that we teach adults is Healthy Bites, Healthy Moves. We also have a Today's Mom curriculum for pregnant moms, but we really don't teach that one too much within CCISD. We use our general one. And it's an 8-week series. It's about an hour or so each lesson. We do food demos in the class. Our scope is limited resource families with children. And so we're trying to help families stretch the food dollar, learn about menu planning, make a shopping list, look for, sales, things like that when they go grocery shopping. So that way, at the end of the month, they're not out at, loaves and fishes or something trying to feed their family. They can do it with what the means they have, whether it's SNAP or their own income. So we do food demos. We give them good recipes that are not expensive, that are nutritious, that stretch and help stretch the food dollar. We have different classes on knife safety, how to use different kinds of knives, just different cooking skills, how to keep food safe. We don't want anyone getting their family sick because they kept leftovers too long, or they didn't put the food away shortly after they cooked it, or they didn't keep the food in the refrigerator at the right temperature. So we give them enhancement items, incentive items, thermometers, cutting boards. And we go into physical activity too. So we give them resistance bands, stretch bands. We have videos, and we talk about all these different kind of ways to help picky eaters eat, because we have a lot of children that don't want their vegetables, but so we have a class on mealtime miracles, things like that. These are some of the places where we were that we have results for last school year. Oak Park, Crockett, Garcia, we kind of combined those two. Gloria Hicks, Berlanga, and Carroll High School, we did like a vertical alignment with several parent liaisons of schools that would go into Carroll. That was adults. For youth, we teach kinder through 12th. It's kind of harder to get the high schools. We do a little bit better with the middle schools. But elementary is pretty easy. A lot of the coaches are ready to have us in there. And we have fun time teaching the kids about nutrition. They're very interested in it. They learn a lot of great things. The main thing we teach is the My Plate. Probably saw it right there. That's from USDA. And FNEP is funded by USDA. And FNEP's over 55 years old. It's all over the country. So that's the main thing we teach is My Plate. So the kids get really into it. We have a Healthy Hero Adventure series. Every hero, that we have Safety Sam, and we have every character talks about, what they're, if they're in protein or fruits or vegetables. And it's really, the kids really get into it and they have a fun time. And each session includes a short lesson and an optional recipe demonstration. With COVID, it's been kind of tough to do that with the large amount of kids we have. But we might do like at least a little video clip or something of a recipe they can do at home. Interactive lessons, like I said, we have all the TEKs. I have provided them to Mary's office. Did you get the email? And so if you have any questions on that, we'll be happy to share that with you. And then for the teenagers, we have Healthy Teens, Healthy Futures. And you can see there, again, healthy eating habits, increasing physical activity, food safety, and developing skills for basic food prep. These are the schools where we taught, 21-22 school year. And, you can see we've been pretty busy for 2 youth educators. They're out at all the schools, teach from kinder through fifth for the most part. Like I said, we try to get into the middle schools and high schools as much as possible, and we have in the past. And we're trying to get back. After COVID, it's been kind of tough. During COVID, we still were helping the coaches. We were doing things virtually, and still trying to keep the kids learning about healthy food and nutrition. So I think Norma's going to take it from here. These are some of the results of our surveys. We do pre and post surveys and diet recalls for the adults. And for the youth, there's so many youth. So Texas allows us to do like a sampling youth spreadsheet. And so for the schools that are selected, these are the results for that. And here we go, Norma.
Thank you. So as Yvette mentioned, I am Norma Munoz. I am the Nueces County Extension Agent for Family and Community Health, and also the Nueces County Administrator. So AgriLife Extension is an educational agency that's part of the A&M system. So all our programs are evidence-based, and we have a variety. We actually, as you mentioned, have 9 extension agents. We're all funded a little differently. And so there's quite a few of us to be able to provide all these programs to a county this size. So one of our extension agents is actually from Prairie View A&M Cooperative Extension Program, and that's fairly new. She's been here almost a year. We had that position filled several years back, but had been vacant about 4 years, so we were glad to have that position filled, which allows us to do a lot more programs, different types of programs with different audiences. So one of those that's being delivered by that agent is Eating Smart, Being Active. As you can see there, she's been at Colda Elementary School, and you can see there what the goals of that program is. So that basically that goal is for any adult, or that program is for any adult. So, and then also Live Well, Eat Well, Be Active with Diabetes, LEAD. We use a lot of acronyms in extension, and so I have to make sure I explain that out. And so that is only one of the couple of diabetes programs that we have. And she's offering it online or in person. So delivered that at Oak Park Elementary School with a few participants. And so gives you, the individual, whether they actually have a diagnosis or not, gives them the tools they need to manage that. Also, Fred, Families Reading Every Day. This was revamped recently. It used to just be called Fathers Reading Every Day, but the purpose and the goal is still the same, getting those families with young children just to read every day, spend some quality time together, and just form that bond. So she's conducted that at Colda as well, and then done a couple of one-shots. So those, what we call those one-shots, are exactly that. It's just one program instead of a program with a series of 3 or 4 lessons. And those are a couple of things that she's done at Los Encinos. Walk Across Texas is a program. So I've been in the county 10 and a half, almost 11 years, with Extension a lot longer. But when I came in here, Walk Across Texas was already an existing program. And so we've been doing this quite a while. So you can see our numbers for the last couple of years. We've actually probably several years back had double that amount of youth walk in, double that amount of miles. So we're slowly kind of getting back into that. things kind of tapered off for us during COVID just because of the interaction and that, or lack of, and that type of thing. So those are the results from the last 2 years. That's usually held in the spring. So that's an 8-week program, and it's conducted usually March to into May or so. The other program that we have is the Nueces County Ag Awareness Days. That has been in existence for 25-ish years, and so all third grade students from around the county are invited to come out to the fairgrounds in Robstown and participate in a full day of sessions. So there are 8 sessions, 20 minutes. They get to see tractors and cattle and dairy goats and dairy cows, and we also have a nutrition and a horticulture session. And so this year, we had 2 schools participate. We've had more in the past prior to COVID. Usually we top the 3. It's a 3-day event, and so you come for 1 day. Usually we have about 12 to 1,300 third graders that come through the fairgrounds over those 3 days. But we had 888 students total this past year, and that was in October. Learning to Grow is one of our programs through our horticulture department, and over the horticulture agent is the one that oversees this, but the Master Gardeners, which are a fantastic volunteer-based group of individuals, actually run the program in CCISD for them. And so you can see here the numbers for the last couple of years, and you can see in 2021 there wasn't any participation because of COVID, so we didn't have any of those numbers. But we're kind of like halfway back to where we were in 2019, 2020. So hopefully that'll start to pick up and more schools can participate. And so I'll have at the end of the slideshow all our names and our phone number where you can reach out to us in case you're interested in this. So these are some of the other programs offered for youth, and if anybody has any interest in any of them, just contact us and we will go into further detail or send some detail about what each one of those programs entails and how maybe it can be used in CCISD. And then our adult programs, there are quite a few more. And so you can see here that we have some chronic disease management, which includes diabetes, healthy blood pressure. We also have a Dinner Tonight Healthy Cooking School. We have, so Maintain No Gain is our holiday program. It's about a 7-week program. And you've got 2 schools participating right now. So Nelda Shandy at Baker Middle School is the site coordinator for them. And Victoria Villegas is the site coordinator at Blanchmore Elementary. So they've got a group of people over there at each one of those schools participating in our 7-week program. And so lots of other things, Stress Less with Mindfulness, My Plate, just general nutrition. So anywhere from just general nutrition, physical activity to chronic disease management, we can provide those programs. Here you've got a listing. If you want to take a picture of that, you can. And that is our office number. If you're trying to reach any of us, just call that number and they'll get a hold of us and we will be back in touch with y'all. So that's what we have. Does anybody have any questions?
I actually do. Well, yeah. Question/suggestion. So I heard y'all talking about the high schools and having a harder time getting in with the nutrition. And so I was wondering, do you have a program that's geared for seniors who are about to go off to college and talking to them about nutrition? And I'm saying this as a mom of a daughter who just got home from college, and I know what she eats, and about my seniors in my AVID class, and I know what they eat. And I'm like, do you realize you're about to be independent, make choices on your own? Mom's not going to make you dinner, that kind of thing. And when they're junior, senior, they're stopping at fast food more, they have cars. And if there's a program that could focus on them, that actually would be super beneficial to that group of kids so that they're making those better choices before college when they are free
to do whatever.
Right, Leela? Yes. So I was wondering.
Yes. So, well, and let me kind of go around and get back to that. So Welcome to the Real World is actually a program that we've done. We've done that at Ray High School and at Veterans in the past. And I did that with my Prairie View counterpart years ago. And so basically that is a simulation of you are now on your own. Here's your budget. And these are the things that you've got to account for. And so that it talks a lot about real life experiences. But going back to the health and nutrition, Yvette's group, that could be something we could do in combination where you have this welcome to the real world experience. And we can do that. It's really kind of done in a way that you can tailor that program to like maybe 2, but you can stretch it out to 4. So we've tailored it and we've done things to it just depending on the time that you've got. And then Yvette and her group could come in with their healthy, what's it called? Yes, program where then they can maybe take apart. So we could do like a 3-lesson type of series where we combine those 2 and have that available where they can kind of have a whole experience about leaving home and being on your own.
And Ms. Markert, I actually made a note and highlighted Amy's name right here while she was presenting for just that. You know, how can we increase our participation of our high schools around healthy food choices? And Ms. Bull is Dr. Wood's replacement. And so anyway, she has joined our SHAC committee. And so anyway, I did put that on here because I noted that. And I think that is, I mean, now being an empty nester and seeing,
right,
you know, I did such a good job as mom. My kids actually eat vegetables. I guess they were forced to, because now that they're gone, like, they're not making the vegetable choices.
Well, you can't, right, because I saw that with my own. You know, you control it while they're there, and then when they just have that freedom to go do whatever they want, then
they do.
Yeah, they do. But I did, like I said, I have that list of programs, but that list is not inclusive of everything we have. So, you know, there's other options. And there is a difference between the Expanded Food Nutrition Education Program and just my family and community health program. Their audience demographic is very different. So mine is more general. I can, you know, provide programs to anybody. So we can work together to where we can make we can look and see what else is available that we can make available to y'all.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My daughter loves vegetables. They just don't have the options in the dining halls that she, you know, she's like, that's not how my mom makes it. So she said I spoiled her. It's my fault, apparently. So, because she begged me to make vegetables the day she got home, and I was like, okay. So, but
that's what you're going to eat every day while you're home.
But I think for a lot of kids, they didn't have that, so therefore but even just, I'm telling you, the juniors and seniors,
their
they're showing
current
up
food choices aren't even healthy in high school. So.
Right, and I'm like, what are you going to do when you truly have the freedom? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if they had that knowledge, and I know we get them with My Plate, but My Plate's not going to work with a junior, you know.
Well,
so we have to I've tried figuring out dorm room cooking with my Avid kids, like what could you do, and
and see, we can work something out to do that, but even a lot of times, if they don't have that background at home, so I know that probably my children made better choices most of the time, not all the time, right. But if they don't even come from that and they don't have that to begin with, and then being out like that, just able to do whatever, it makes it harder. And we all know that as we get older, those choices they're harder for us to change and make a difference. So anyway, we can work on that together. Thank you.
Actually,
yes.
Real quick, because I may segue into this too, but having worked with Texas AgriLife, by the way, wonderful programs, but I know one of the challenges is that we had with is getting the adults in. So kind of flipping, you know, the needs. I mean, there's just doing so much you're doing for the school. What, if anything, have y'all thought about that CCISD can do to help attract and get the parents into the classes? Because it's very difficult, and we educate the children, and it helps. But family changes are what lead to the long-term changes. So is there anything you can think of that we could do more?
So off the top of my head, you know, the promotion of the program for sure, but then having a conversation to see what is the challenge there, getting them in there. With the challenge with the families, I don't mean with CCISD, but the challenge with the families is that the program's not at the right time for them? Is it that they have to work and so they're not able to come during the day? Or is it that they have smaller children at home, so what are those challenges with those individuals? And then we could work together to see how we can maybe overcome that and provide those programs. Because, I do programs in the evening. If I'm being asked to come to a location, but yet it works better during their lunch hour, or it works better at 4:00 in the afternoon or 6:00, I'm there. I'll do that. And so I guess maybe what is it that's causing that challenge to get them there? And maybe that's just a discussion between your administration here and us, or even if you've got those parent liaisons and those parent groups, like, let's have a discussion all together to see what we can do and figure that out to be able to provide that education to the adults.
No, I appreciate that. We, with the ones we do at the schools, timing, try different times. Incentivizing is difficult. You can't just say, "Come, we'll serve you pizza," right? So it's that's why I was just kind of curious. I didn't come up with an answer. That's why.
We do food demonstrations, but it's never like it also kind of depends on the program. It's never like a full meal, so that's kind of hard to incentivize with that. Mm-hmm. But I think if we put our heads together and kind of work through that and take a look at what those challenges are, we can probably figure something out to help with that.
And it's always, it comes a money thing too, but I just throw this out for our parent liaison, whoever to work with maybe. But there was some clinics in Georgia that just having, if you had food to hand out, people showed up, and that may be grants or partnerships with food bank or something that we may be able to do. And
that's what I was thinking of when you were going in that direction is, maybe partnering with the food bank, the local food bank, to where they've got a box or a bag available at those programs. And then from the get-go, when you're marketing the program, you will leave with a box or whatever, a bag, of food items from the food bank, and but also reaching out and seeing if there's some grants available out there that could come into the school district and be just tagged for that specifically, is to be able to have some type of, whether it's a meal at each one of the programs, because most of our programs are a series of programs. One-shots are great, but they're not effective. We know that. The research shows that they're not as effective as a series. And so like the one that we have that's the least is 3. The one that we have that's the most is 6 months. And that's a strength program for older adults. And so maybe if there's some type of grant that could come in where they know they're going to get a meal each time they come in, or if they know that they're going to leave with a box of food or whatever it is. But we could probably work together to see if we can kind of brainstorm some ideas to help with that.
Sorry.
Yes, no, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I just wanted everybody to know we have Christmas presentations going on out. So if you hear music and cheering, that's what it is.
Can I ask you a quick question before you sit down?
Oh, yes. Norma.
What?
Her name's Norma.
Norma. One of the things I was looking at, there's a lot of literature out there. In fact, I was looking, there's a Harvard review from 2021. It's foods linked to better brain power. Do you think you could do a marketing thing in a school based on, clearly there's research out there showing which foods could help you think clearer, and sell it on that? Because there's a lot of kids wanting to get ahead or going to college, or and sell it based on it could actually help your performance, and that's a direct link back. And to me, it's a direct link back to the parents supporting it, not just saying eat healthier. I'm just curious, because there's so much literature out on what to eat, and I know I wasn't doing it when I was in college.
We all had those challenges, right? So all of our programs are, like I said, are based on, it's a research-based program, and so each one, it's different, but when we do promote those, we do talk about the objectives of that program and how, what the goal is for it. And so, and Yvette actually has quite a few more youth programs that they can deliver and that they are delivering, which actually help with better. And it's not just, well, you just need to eat better, right? No, we talk about what it is that you need to eat in order to improve not just your physical well-being, but your mental well-being. So we talk about what the importance is of, like, we say, eat the rainbow when it comes to your fruits and vegetables, because we know that if you eat a variety of colored fruits and vegetables, you're getting different vitamins and nutrients and minerals from all those. Just like we say, you're going to choose the darker vegetables and fruits versus the lighter. So an example, and I'll get off my soapbox in a minute, but if you have iceberg lettuce, it's still a vegetable, right? It's still better than not eating any lettuce, but you should probably choose your romaine or your spinach because it's darker. So the darker they are, the more vitamins and minerals and nutrients are. And so that helps our body X, Y, and Z. It helps your brain. It helps your, So we talk about all those things when we're doing our programs. And so we explain that. And so I understand what you're saying about marketing that a little bit different.
To me, it's more a real simple message marketing, because you can't get a good marketing message out, I wouldn't think, with a 20-minute speech. It's got to be real simple that would connect them to want them to have interest in the first place. And that's the only point I was making.
Yeah.
When you link it right back to your mental acumen right away, that you can see a difference between eating a bunch of bad carbohydrates versus good carbohydrates.
Good carbohydrates,
so
right.
Something really simple, though, to get them in the program, and then you go from there. But to me, it's the marketing.
And you're right. That's and because we do, like I said, we do explain all that. We talk about all those things, and it's just not what can it do for you physically, what can it do for you, emotionally and mentally as well. So you're right. We might be able to tweak that marketing of that program in a way to where the words are a little bit different, so that that's put out there. Yes, good idea. Thank you.
Okay, so the next presenter that we would like to welcome comes to us from Tennis Success, and her name is Cherie Pena.
Good morning. My name is Cherie Pena. I'm the Executive Director of Tennis Success. Tennis Success has been around we're going on 23 years in January, but we have been with CCISD for 10 years in the main capacity that we're in now, which is we provide tennis and education to schools that are more Title I. That is our goal. What we do in our main part of Tennis Success is we offer tennis, but we require that they do their homework. They are passing. We kind of have the same thing with you guys, no pass, no play, which is kind of hard sometimes, but it works. And so to work with the at-risk kids that we do, we have decided, or we have partnered up with you guys so that we can provide those same things to your kids. Let me see. All right, so we are currently in, it says 8 schools, but we're currently in 9 schools, and they are divided into what's called a vertical team and just regular schools. Vertical team is currently working with elementary schools that will feed up to Driscoll Middle School and then Miller High School, because we have noticed that once they leave elementary, tennis is no longer the main sport they want to play. Because, football, basketball, and all the main sports are there, and they get to experience that through a real season. So our great coach, Raul Munoz, that's over at, Evans, thank you, came up with the wonderful idea to try to hook his kids, because he had so many that he just knew that were going to be amazing, and they are, to keep them wanting to play tennis. And so one way that we do that with all of your schools is we split them in half. We do a maximum of 30 kids, 1 day a week for 2 hours. We split them in half, 15 and 15. One group goes out with the coach, another one goes with the tutor. Usually the tutors are provided by you guys that we pay. That way that they can get either homework done, we provide STEM projects they can work on, or just reading, because some schools really need that help. They want to get their AR goals met. Or they say, hey, Ms. Cherie, I need, my kids really need help in math. So we try to tailor what we can to that school. And then during the tennis time, they're getting basic drills where they're learning what a forehand is, hand-eye coordination, and then after an hour, they switch. And so everybody gets the same thing. They get snacks provided by Tennis Success. And so we are hitting everything that we provide normally: education, tennis, and healthy living services. Your vertical schools, as of right now, are Evans, Fannin, Gibson, Metro, Oak Park, and Roshaw. And then our normal schools, I keep saying normal, it's probably not the best way to say that, but our regular schools are Los Encinos, Baker, and Travis, with Baker and Travis being new this year. Travis actually was with us pre-COVID, but we all know what happened then. And so since we're an outside vendor, it's a little harder for it to get back in, but it's okay. And I apologize, let me go back. What makes vertical team schools a vertical team, other than feeding up, is that we are also paying your PE coach instead of taking one of ours over to them. And that's because they know their students more than we would know them. We know, hey, this person may not thrive in this, so maybe we tailor something else. Or, it's just easier. And it's better for the student in the long run. And it's not such a hectic transition trying to bring somebody else in. Where the Tennis Success schools, we provide a coach, but you guys still provide the tutor. Okay, so we did attendance for the past 2 years. Last year, we gave everybody the maximum of 30, and they all tried to hit the 30. Some of the PE coaches didn't feel comfortable, which is fine, working with all ages at the same time. So we allowed them to tell us, hey, what is your max? What can you work with that can be the best for not you, but your students as well? And so you're going to see Gibson and Metro for this year has hit their 30. That's what they like. They love it, and they are thriving. Because of some things they may have different, like Metro has tennis courts on their facility where the rest of them have regular blacktops. But the rest of them tried to stay within the 15 to 20. And it works for where they are. And again, the reason why we allow the PE teacher and the tutor to be their person is because they know, hey, this many kids with these type of behaviors or need this kind of situation, it just works that way for them. All right, so a benefit of us working with you on the school side is that we see better grades. To participate with Tennis Success, just like our regular program at the HEB Tennis Center that we're currently located, is that they have to pass. You can't be failing, you can't have a bad grade and expect to still play. We have to make sure that you're passing because that is the key. Education is key. So they get good grades. Tennis is actually that sport that helps them stay disciplined. It is actually shown that tennis players, for some reason, are the ones that are staying up late at night and they're getting their work done, and it's probably because it's an individual sport. So they have to work on their own thing on their own time for everything they're doing. And then, of course, they're learning a new sport. And we noticed that if they are with the program for more than 1 year, that they are trying to stay with tennis throughout the rest of their life. Because tennis is actually the sport that you can play for a lifetime. Like, literally. We have people on the court, 80 years old, playing right now. So it's a great thing. And then after they leave you guys, we actually provide a scholarship if they stay within the program for up to 5 years at $1,000 per semester. And so that's usually an incentive once they hit middle school, because our elementary school kids don't really know that. They don't understand. But when it comes to trying to figure out, hey, I want to go to college, and we say, hey, we got this scholarship, and we help provide scholarships, and we help you look for other scholarships and grants and stuff, it starts to click. And so it just becomes a great opportunity for everyone involved. And that's all I have. Real short, real sweet. Here's some pictures of some of the schools. So to your left, up top, is at our new school, Baker. We have Metro to your right. We provide a play day for all of our vertical teams to come out and experience real courts. And they get to work with a real tennis coach. They get pizza, or let's see, in spring we gave them Chick-fil-A because they did so well on their grades. And we try to provide that in the fall and in the spring. And then this to the right is also at Baker. That's it. Anybody have any questions? No? Oh, yes, Mr. Woods, Dr. Woods.
It's good to see you.
You too.
When if a student does fail, because those things do happen, what is the protocol for that student? Does the student just completely get left out of the program? Is there intervention to keep the student within and maybe not just go out and play? What happens when a student maybe does fail?
Our goal is not to catch it when progress reports and report cards are coming out. We try to catch it ahead of time so that we don't have to pull them out. Because that is what happens. We have to pull them out altogether, but they get put into a tutoring wherever their school is, and that's through their teacher.
If the student demonstrates success, are they welcomed back into the program?
Absolutely. Okay. And then, so we keep them on the list just in case. So we don't fill their spot because we work in a spring and fall kind of broken up. So if they're failing progress report time, then we're getting them together. They stay in the program until spring, and if they're passing, they can come back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
So I noticed we're in the Miller VLC feeder pattern.
Mm-hmm.
We also have an elementary, Zavala.
Yes. So Zavala actually was with us last year, and we couldn't find a tutor, but they are supposed to come back in the spring.
Okay, great.
Yes. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next presenter this morning is Katie Van Ness, and she's from CCISD Food Services.
Hi, thank you. My name is Kaylee Van Ness, and I'm here with our director, Mary Boyd. And I'm just going to give you all a couple updates on our program and what we're doing at Food Services. So a little about us. We are a self-operated and non-profit organization. Our program is federally funded and regulated by strict and federal guidelines, and it's managed by the Texas Department of Agriculture. So we currently participate in the community eligibility provision as well as NSLP, NSBP, and we also operate CACFP and the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program, which is FFVP. Since we do participate in CEP, we offer one free breakfast and one free lunch to students across the district, and we also offer supper.
I'm sorry, can I jump in? Could you talk about what the CEP is? Our board may not know what that is.
So,
oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. So I am Mary Boyd. I'm the director of the Food Service Department. CEP just means it's the community eligibility provision. So essentially data is sent to us from the state of Texas, from the Department of Agriculture, and because of the numbers that are in our district that qualify for Medicaid, SNAP, and TANF, those families have allowed us to remain profitable and be able to offer all students meals for free across the district. The numbers were lower this time. It's for up to 4 years. So I always like to put that disclaimer of up to 4 years, because if at some point we are not profitable, those numbers could change. If something were to change and the state said, like with the new schools coming up, those might affect some of that. Sorry about that. So that is always up to 4 more years. We can't guarantee that it's 4 years, but it's up to 4 more years, and then they reevaluate it. Our first 4 years, we were on CEP because of Harvey, because the number of participants in those specific programs were so high. We were able to claim every single student at the set rate of the free meal, which is a higher reimbursable rate, which kept our department able to function and remain profitable. We are completely self-sufficient. We do not take any funds from the general fund whatsoever. So the food service department has its own budget, and we are completely separate from the general fund. So we are expected to remain and be able to sustain all of our expenses. So there is a part that we have to be able to maintain profitability so that the general fund is not affected. It was very lengthy, but hopefully it answered the questions. Thank you.
All right. So a little bit about the National School Breakfast Program. NSBP reimburses the approved meals ACE serves to more than 1.5 million qualifying Texas children daily. As I said before, CCISD students receive 1 free reimbursable breakfast. We've seen an increase in participation from the 2021-22 school year. We serve over 266,000 meals monthly and over 12,000 meals daily. We are celebrating School Breakfast Week from March 6th to March 10th in 2023. So some new items we've added to breakfast in elementary is a breakfast sausage sandwich, which is that first picture right there. And lunch, we added some chicken tenders, a chicken drumstick, Max pizza sticks, a new pizza, which is the selfie pizza, and cheesy garlic pull-apart bread. As a grain option and to increase participation, we do have a whole grain cookie that students receive with their meals on Tuesdays. A little bit about the National School Lunch Program. It's a federally assisted meal program that provides lunches to more than 3 million Texas school children. It provides nutritionally balanced, low-cost, or free lunches to students each school day. CCISD students receive 1 free reimbursable lunch. We've also seen an increase in participation from the 21-22 school year. We serve over 434,000 meals monthly and over 20,000 meals daily. We celebrated National School Lunch Week from October 17th through the 21st in 2022, and some new menu items for lunch are the popcorn chicken bowls, the beef rib sandwiches, the Korean barbecue chicken, hot and spicy and regular drumsticks, loaded fries, and chicken tenders. And for breakfast, we've also added new menu items to the secondary menu, which is new 2-ounce cereals, some muffins, some toaster pastries, which are the Pop-Tarts, and conchas. And for a la carte sales, we have the whole grain cookies that we have at elementary schools, G2 Gatorades, beef jerky, and Rice Krispie treats, which are whole grain. We also have the Child and Adult Care Food Program. It's CACFP. It's a program that provides reimbursements for nutritious meals and snacks to eligible children enrolled in after-school care programs. More than 400,000 approved meals for children and adults in Texas daily. We offer supper meals at 38 campuses, 32 elementaries, and 6 secondary schools. For participation, we serve over 27,000 supper meals monthly and about 1,200 meals daily. And anyone from the ages of 1 to 18 can receive a free supper meal at these campuses. We also have the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program. It's a federally assisted invitation-only program that provides free fresh fruits and vegetables to students in participating elementary schools, and we currently operate that at 17 campuses. So the purpose of this program is to create a healthier school environment by offering and providing healthy choices, expanding the variety of fruits and vegetables children experience, and to increase fruit and vegetable consumption. We also have School Lunch Hero Day. It's celebrated nationally on the first Friday of May, and it's recognized throughout the district. It provides an opportunity for students and staff to thank those who provide healthy meals to students each school day. And we started celebrating in 2021 after COVID-19, when food service staff ensured that students received the food they needed, and by doing so, they turned their aprons into capes. We also have the food advisory team. It's district-wide, student-led, and it's a community that works collaboratively with us. And students team up with the Office of Food Service to increase student satisfaction and participation. So we are committed to activating and enhancing student voices. Our goals are to create a strong school food culture and empower student voices, and we collaborate with the students to increase participation. So far this year, we've had 3 meetings at Ray, Renzo Park, and at Miller. And from the students, we do have a new name. It is now called the Student Nutrition Advisory Committee, and that was voted on at these meetings by the students. We are also offering some new items. We partnered with Dairy Max and the Nutrition Now grant. So this is going to add coffee to breakfast menu Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. It's free with breakfast. Students must take a complete meal that includes milk, and students are encouraged to use that milk to make a latte. And this is really to improve the access of consumption of low-fat or fat-free dairy products and really increase that student participation. We piloted it at King in April 12th of 2022, and we immediately saw an increase of participation. And we started that this week actually on a Monday, and it's only offered at high schools. Our next partnership with Dairy Max is the Fuel Up to Play grant, and that offers smoothies to students at breakfast, and also this is to increase dairy and fruit consumption. And we piloted this at Moody High School on March 22nd and Veterans High School on March 24th, and it will be offered to all high schools when we get all the equipment we need. Do we have any questions?
So my students, I'm at high school, they were like, they had iced coffee at breakfast. So they told us to put our milk in it. Yeah, I know that they're doing it because they were like, what is happening? So they were all excited. So good job.
Thank you.
And they also, all the new items, I get to hear about like, hey, this is what they had at lunch today during our good things. The chicken, not the chicken, the Asian with the lo mein. So good. Yeah, that one. And then there's some orange chicken or some.
The spicy Asian, yeah.
But it's General Tso's is what it is.
They love it. So good job.
Really good.
And on Friday, we are actually having those chicken strips and waffles. So that's a new menu item, that chicken and waffles on Friday.
Okay, I can't wait to hear about it. I don't get to go. I don't go down there. I avoid the cafeteria, not because of the food, but because the kids are there. But it's a break. I need a break. But they are talking about all the new things and all the things. So
yeah, and that's like the motive behind our new food advisory team is to have their input and to get that before we have to make those changes to the menu.
Right, and thank you for changing the name because the kids are like, you're on the fat? How is fat? Like it never made sense to them, but they would do it. But thank you so much for everything.
I'd like to just add one more thing if I can. Kaylee, great presentation, thank you. The ultimate goal of our food service, not ultimate, we have lots of goals in the food service department, but it's to provide a healthier option to food that the kids are already eating out there. So, we get a lot of pushback on certain items. Why do you do chicken strips? Because that's what kids are eating. I can't only provide the things that I eat at home for the kids because then they're not going to eat anything. And then we're going to have students hungry during the school day. So the ultimate goal is to provide them with food they're familiar with, but in a healthier option and still have all that flavor. So we've worked really hard over, I'm new. I've only been in this position a year. I was with the team before I got the director's position. But since I've been here 6 years. But specifically last year when I got my new team together, we've been working extremely hard to give the students what they want in a healthier option. Yes, we added coffee. It's 4 ounces of coffee. It's not like we're pouring them a 20-ounce coffee. It's 4 ounces of coffee that they're getting because our breakfast participation at high schools is so low. When we piloted that coffee program at King, we did a survey with the students, and it sticks with me because it was just so profound. Like, will you drink this, or do you drink coffee? Of course I do. Why do you think I'm late every day at school? Because they're stopping to get their coffee. So if that's something we can offer them, and they can come in and get a nice, healthy breakfast to go with it, we're going to try it. We're going to try it. We really want the kids to eat with us, and that's the ultimate goal, is to provide them healthier options to food that they're already familiar with. Yes, sir?
In moderation was coffee, because it stimulates you in modest amounts.
There you go. We did it because they like it, but added benefit.
Real quick question, and
Yes,
I
sir.
applaud all your efforts to try to, meet them in the middle and all. What, when we talk about on the slides and, nutritionally balanced, nutritious meals, what kind of criteria or measurements are used to make that
Regulations.
That
Oh,
definition,
goodness
right?
gracious.
So where does it fall? Right?
So she did mention very briefly that we are under extremely strict guidelines from TDA and USDA. So they we could talk regulations all day long, because that's what my whole office is about, is following the rules. We like following rules. They're there for a reason. So that's what we do. They range in everything. They have calorie restrictions, they have fat restrictions, sugar restrictions, they have number of vegetables, color subgroups that we have to offer. So we are required to offer dark greens, red orange, legumes, starchy vegetable, which is a thing. Starchy vegetables are vegetables. I'm a dietitian. It took me a while to train my brain that way, but it is still a vegetable, and we're required to offer French fries, or corn. Either way, we're required to. And an other subgroup, which are things like green beans. So we're required federally to offer those every single week in a specific quantity to all students. So we have our team works together to plan these menus so that we meet all of those subgroups. But we also have to offer whole grain items. So our bread components have to be whole grain. Everything has to be low sodium. And we also have to offer specific amounts of meat or meat alternatives. So that's why yogurt does count, because yogurt is considered a meat alternative. So when we have our yogurt parfaits, that actually counts as a grain, because we have granola, meat, and fruit. We don't count the fruit because it's a minuscule amount, so we do still allow the students to get fruit with it because it's not enough to count. But that counts as a meat and a grain at breakfast and at lunch, both. And then what else? What are the regulations food-wise? There's so many. Those are the big ones. Those are the ones we have to look at the menu every single cycle. Sodium keeps getting stricter, which as a dietitian I don't necessarily agree with, but that's a whole different spiel. And but we are under those strict guidelines. We get reviewed every 3 years. We just went under a review. I was 3 months on the job when I got hammered with 4 state reviews, so that was fun. And so we were just reviewed last school year in 2021. December of 2021 was when we went under the first review. And we hopefully won't be reviewed again until 2024, but they can come whenever they want. So, but they do look at us very strictly. We have a lot of other guidelines that have to be followed, like our procurement guidelines have changed tremendously. So even to get the food is becoming more difficult. Never mind the shortages, which is the big reason we haven't started yogurt, is because we can't get yogurt. So we can only get enough yogurt to maintain our parfaits. So to start smoothies has become a challenge because we can't procure it. So the regulations on food service are tremendous and extensive. So we have a book that's over 1,000 pages that we have to know all of the regulations in there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate your efforts to make it work.
It's difficult.
It's challenging, and again, I appreciate you trying to meet them in the middle. It's just, I've been to the schools, and I've, I don't know how many carrots we've thrown away at the school, right?
It's so hard.
It's or how many milks we've just thrown away and things like that. But it is challenging. So appreciate you. I was just
of course, and we're here for the kids, and I'm fortunate that my boss has been amazing and has let me grow in my team to help me be more successful in getting what we need for those kids. And the kids are why we're here. We know that they need good, healthy food to function at school, and so that's our ultimate goal, is to make sure that we can help them be better in school. Supper is also an area that needs some help if y'all are in the schools. We are open, students between 1 and 18 at those campuses that were listed. If they're there and their sibling is coming with their parents to pick them up, they can come in and get a meal if we're still serving. We've had a lot of, I don't want to say pushback, but a lot of concerns from administration. Well, why can't you serve it at 2:55? because it's an after-school snack program. We are required to serve it after school. So it can't be taken home. It has to be eaten there. So there's a lot of rules that we have to follow in order to remain, again, self-sufficient, fully do it. But we want to be able to offer those meals. And there was a picture missing that she added last minute, but one of our hot top hits is actually it's like a Lunchable. So it has a pizza round, and it's a whole grain pizza round. They add the marinara sauce, they add cheese, they add the pepperonis, and the marinara sauce, it counts as a meal, and they love it. They love it. We're starting it at secondary in January. It's been at elementary on Mondays for about a month now. It's been huge. It's been a huge hit. So we're really excited about the new things we're able to offer. Any other questions?
I have seen kids having supper at my school because they're after school and they're down there, and I'm like, where'd they get that? And then I see this, so it's happening. The G2, the Gatorade, that's a sugar-free.
The G2 is sugar-free.
Sugar-free. Okay, I wanted to make sure.
And so for anything that we sell a la carte, they're required to meet SMART snacks.
Okay.
And so they have to meet SMART. And honestly, students' snacks throughout the entire school are required to meet SMART snacks regulations. So not just the ones that food services serves, but also those that are in the vending machines that are operated by the campus are required to meet SMART snacks, and that is in the wellness policy for the district. And it's federal. It's not even just a CCSD thing. They're required to. So we had never served Gatorade, but then we saw it in the school machine. So we're like, well, if they can sell it, so can we. So that's how we came to the Gatorade G2. We don't do sodas. I won't do sodas. I don't drink sodas. So we will not serve sodas from our facility, but they are being offered in vending machines in the district. Anything else? Well, thank you, guys.
Everyone should be able to get a handout. That was our agenda. What we're going to present on our last presentation of the morning, we are excited to announce that we had a Hope Symposium this past Saturday at the FEMA Dome over at the Del Mar West campus. And we had a great turnout. We had 22 participants, and we had several presenters as well as a keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker's name was Neil Williams. He's coming from Fort Worth, and he owns the company, Elevated Lifestyle Academy. And what his company provides is case management, consulting, and life coaching services to young teens and their families who struggle with substance use disorder. So it was very exciting to have him there. He shared a testimony as well as different resources for our participants, and he had a great story. So we really enjoyed him being there. And then we also had 5 other presentations. We had the Hope Symposium from 9 until 1:30, so 5 different presentations. We had a presentation that was delivered by Dr. Serrani on vaping. We had a presentation from the council by Ms. De La Garza on opioid prevention. We had a presentation on the signs of substance abuse and social media by Ms. Danielle Martinez from Driscoll. We had a couple of wellness breaks, which the participants were then able to walk around the facility and view the vendors that were there, and she'll talk about the vendors in just a second. We also had a presentation by one of our own social workers, Ms. Carmela Quintanilla, and she spoke about how to respond and talk to your children about drugs. And then the last presentation that we had was by Ms. Candace Fricky, and she did a self-care presentation for our participants. So overall, we had a very successful day. We hope that the participants learned many different things that they will carry through their lifetime regarding substance use. And so I will, and we also had Kahoot a Kahoot game. And Dr. Serrani was actually partnered with our team. It consisted of Miss Arismendi, myself, Courtney Rios, and then Dr. Ayescas, and then Dr. Serrani also, and Veronica Sisk while she was still with us. We all partnered together. We met almost every week and planned this event rather quickly to be able to roll it out to the community and our students and our parents. So we look forward to having another one next year and building on what we've learned this year to be able to provide it in a greater capacity next year for our community and our staff and our parents. So I'll send it over to Dr. Estes.
Yes, so not only were we able to provide, our parents, guardians, and we had students also who were participated in this event, these wonderful presentations that you see before you, but we also had community vendors who came. We had 16 community vendors who said they would come, and every single one of them showed up, which we were just so incredibly grateful for that. So just to name a few, we had the Council, of course, on Alcohol and Drugs, MHID, NAMI, Senecor, Amistad, Al-Anon, and they were able to provide all of our participants with information, with resources, and also some giveaways. So they were located in the back, and so during our wellness breaks, we did have our participants get up, go visit. We did have some students, so in order, how students are, they'll just sit there on their phones, during breaks. So we did encourage all of our volunteers who were counselors, social workers, and parent liaisons to partner up with one of the students, and they went and they visited all the vendors. So that was a way just to also show appreciation to our vendors, but also some of the kids who were there, they were dropped off, but this was a great way for them to also receive information to bring home to their families as well, and just a variety of topics that we had. We had some wonderful sponsors as well. Without their participation, we really could not have done this symposium. One of the biggest one is, Dr. Serrani's, the Dr. Serrani's, is It's Your Life Foundation. And they provided us with funding for our wonderful keynote speaker who did come and talk to our audience here. We had, so It's Your Life provided us, we had Subway gift cards, we had Nolan's Restaurant, Hester's, Harrison's Landing, Communities and Schools also provided us with several gift baskets. CCEF provided us with some goodie bags. It's Your Life gave us Starbucks packages, golf kit packs, and we also had some donations from CCISD Communication Department. So as you can see, this was a team effort, most definitely. We learned some lessons along the way because we do want to continue with this presentation, with this symposium, make it better every single year. So we did request feedback from all the participants. They did complete an exit survey just so that we can see, well, how can we do this to make this better next year, better every single year. We're also going to get together as a team and also talk about ways to improve this event, possibly partnering with some community agencies or with some of our local schools here as well. And so it was just a wonderful time, just being able to address drug abuse, which is just, it's a nationwide issue that we're looking at here. And so it was just wonderful knowing that we were able to provide our parents and guardians and students with that education and also prevention strategies that'll enable our students to make healthier and better choices for their future. So.
And I wanted to add that HOPE Symposium is actually an umbrella term. So for this particular symposium, we focused on drugs. We're having another HOPE Symposium in May that will focus on mental health. And as we move forward into next year, we could probably only host 2 a year because, they are time intensive and resource intensive. But making sure that the symposiums that we host are responsive to the needs of our community and trends that we see in the school. And so this one was really to respond to the drug vaping. So yes, vaping is a problem, but what kids are vaping is really the problem. And so, that's why we focused on drugs and incorporated vaping because that is the mechanism in which our students are doing it everywhere, in our community, on the streets with parents in Walmart. I got to witness a parent, and I'm assuming it's their child who definitely was underage, but passed the vape pipe to them in Walmart, and so it doesn't surprise me that we are also seeing it on our campuses and in bathrooms in our campuses and, maybe at events that our district is having. And so we really want to be responsive to what we're seeing in the community and on schools. And this was all about educating parents. And so, yes, we had students attend. We partnered with judges, and so judges actually assigned students and their families to attend this event. The families didn't necessarily attend. We had the students attend, which we'll take what we can get. But the audience that we had there were truly, yes, it would be great to have hundreds of people, but we really need the people who need to hear this, And so we did have that. I have to say those that did attend were ones that needed to hear the messaging from our speakers.
Any questions?
Were you able to, or would you consider videotaping it to show it what the big thing is a module that you can push out?
So we are actually looking at modules to push out, educational training, maybe not this particular session, something that's a little more finished product and easy to watch, from a computer or present from a classroom setting. But yes, that is currently what we're doing, is trying to design what those lessons will be and when we can roll them out. Oh, sorry. Our time is up. Right.
She's given us several resources as well. So those are things that we are looking at, that we are talking about, discussing, determining how and where, and all of the logistics of how we're going to be able to give out this information to the students.
Because I have to say that's one of the biggest hurdles we have, is so much information has to get out to the students that is required by state statute, and it's really hard to find where to be able to deliver those lessons. Well, yes, that could be, but at high school there's so many PE alternatives. So, being able to get into a band class for X number of times to be able to roll out, or football or basketball class. So, that's really some of the challenges. And we know it's going to take a bigger involvement and buy-in from everybody across the board in a PE or active class to allow us to get in and show it. Because yes, in PE, we know we can get that, but that is really not a large population. And we've already started working with our school leadership director for high school, Dr. Bruce Wilson, talking about health class, because we don't mandate health class as a graduation requirement in CCISD. But we know other school districts do, and health class is a perfect avenue if we make it mandatory as a graduation requirement that every student take it. That is a captive audience for, a solid semester where we can roll out the information. And then couple that with the PE class.
So it's about being creative, right, and how we're going to deliver this information to our kids. And so be looking for that on the agendas coming up, because we are working really, really hard to get everything together, and really diving into pick the correct and the right one based off of our community and our values and what we're seeing in the schools for what's going on with our kids and our families. So.
That should also be for June in middle school, because they still go through PE, because they start middle school.
Yes. And we do, it's really high school that we don't have that captive audience. Middle school, for most of their years there, we have them as a captive audience. And so we are working with our health and PE specialist to make sure that the PE coaches and teachers leading those lessons feel comfortable and know exactly how to lead those lessons in the classroom. It's high school that we're missing, and so we're working. And it takes a lot of moving parts, like to even add health back as a graduation credit is heavy board involvement, heavy TEA information. So there's a lot of heavy lifting there, and it'll take us a little while, but that's what we're starting, because we do see the need.
I guess one question, quick comment on that is, target audience is elementary and middle school. Anyway, if by the time it's high school, there's not as many kids that start doing those things in high school. They already started. So that's the good part. The other, just a quick question, is there still a writing across the curriculum kind of piece? I know it's part of the.
So as a general question, yes, there is still writing across the curriculum.
And if this in some ways, some of these things may be able to be snuck in there, I would just throw that out there.
So I can speak on that too. We are also working on, I know that I've presented, I think at the beginning of this year, on the bundle of our suicide awareness, package that we presented to you guys, substance use, and then the bullying. So that's something we've been talking about too, is adding on to that specific group of resources that we have for our counselors to be able to utilize, and other district staff that work with the students. So we're definitely looking at that to be able to present to you guys, of course, and be able to add to those things as well over this next 6 months or so.
So if I heard correctly, y'all are looking at putting health back as a requirement, or that's an option that's being discussed?
Yes.
'Cause I know it used to be, and then all of a sudden it wasn't because of all the changes with what was required for graduation, 4x4, et cetera, and things have changed.
Yes.
So the one thing I know that was always a hindrance for the kids is it was it's a half credit. So you have to have something that's the other half, which is why they had speech communication.
Which is not even a requirement either.
Exactly. So it has to be something where there's another half credit.
So that lives in my outside of SHAC. I actually do some other things as well, and one of them is graduation requirements and credits. And so we have expanded our half elective or half credit offerings, and the state has pushed out some new ones that are very life skills oriented, right? Like just some basic skills I need to know on how to plan my monthly budget and how to, live on my own and self-suffice, that are half credits. And so they pair nicely together. And so that is being added to our course catalog.
Yay. Because that was one of the issues they said is there's
it's
a lot
those
to
half credit
pair,
offerings,
and the kids have to take something. So
Yes.
I actually have a kid who was signing up for speech, and they're talking about schedules, and I'm like, it's not required. They go, yeah, but there's a dual credit they could do, and they were doing dual credit. So I was like, okay, but that was my one thing, because they used to always if they were in health, you knew they were going to do speech. So
yes,
they need the life skills. They need the health too. So thank you for that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having us.
Okay, it's me again. All right, so I want to say thank you to everyone who came to present to our SHAC. It was really nice to hear updates and no voting, yay. So it was just nice to hear and be able to ask questions and kind of see where we are at the time. So I really appreciate all of that. Does anyone have any last minute comments or questions before we adjourn?
Or any other suggestions for the future, if there's anything you want to hear, a topic or an update on, so that we can start working on it. As we've gotten through to approve a lot of curriculum, we know that there's a couple of more curriculum that we'll need to roll through SHAC, at least up until our May meeting. But if there's some updates or something else you want us to bring to you or get information on, let us know.
I wish I did something in emotional intelligence, even if it's blended in with something else.
Emotional intelligence.
There's a life skill.
Yes.
One of those half credits. Maybe something on cream of corn. I'm still trying to figure that.
Stop with the cream of corn.
Well, and we do have something at the high school that I also put in through an innovative course when I first got this position 2 years ago, a lead-worthy course, which is a leadership. So it has a lot of that emotional intelligence in it. And it's something that's already in our course catalog.
Yeah, communication, leadership,
And, yes.
intelligence, a blend is a life skill.
Yes.
You do want a job or you don't want a job. Title it
Okay.
I think it's hard for students because they have endorsements, they have things that are required, And then they get like little bits of, okay, now you have an elective. But if they're in other things, band, whatever it is, their sport, it sort of ends up, it's very hard. Like, because every time it's scheduled time, Ms. Marker, what do I take? What do I do? I don't know what to do. And I'm like, okay, I'm not your mom, but I can tell you that, like, here's things you can, but you need to look. And it's a lot, and it's very overwhelming, my little freshman.
It is. I mean, our course catalog is 320 pages, and it's extensive. Yes, and so those little pieces of advising and giving them nuggets of things that, the courses and career pathways are extremely important, but we do have these other offerings that give you more soft skills that may go further in your future, take you further in your future than some of the other classes you have to take.
Yeah, but it's very overwhelming for them. And it's overwhelming for parents because they don't also know all of those things, or they might not read the whole course catalog. So they usually mostly ask me about, like, what science do I take next? And, I get that. But then they're like, well, I have this space. What do I do with it? I don't know. What are you interested in? What's your pathway, or what's your goals? And so it's just difficult. So all those courses are great, but they get buried under all the requirements. And is it an advanced course? Does it have this? Does it have that? And so I'm just telling you from, like, my perspective of having the kids come and ask me. So but yeah, I think they're all great, and I appreciate that they're in there. So I tell them read the course catalog.
Oh, wow.
Little light reading.
Light reading.
There you
Well,
go.
it's electronic, so it's also interactive. That's much more
That's true.
user-friendly. I made it electronic, so you can go and click on the link and take you directly to that section instead of scrolling and flipping through hundreds of pages.
And we appreciate that. I appreciate that because I remember the last time I was like, oh, this is great. Like, because I used to have to do this. Okay, thank you. If there's no more...
I just want to say thank you for putting this together. This is wonderful, a different approach than what we usually had, so it was very good to hear these updates. And I look forward to working with subcommittees and talking about that and taking that a little bit further.
It is 10:46, and this SHAC meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.